have a public hearing, and I need you to call the roll, please.
His Honor the Mayor.
Here.
Councilor Walton.
Here.
Councilor Burge.
Here.
Councilor Benucci.
Here.
Councilor Walker. Here. Councilor Gosick.
Here.
Councilor Plunkett.
Here.
Councilor Allen.
Excused.
6 present, 1 excused.
All right, thank you very much. We have a public hearing tonight, and I see we have 2 people to speak. It's about local law number 1, 2024, local law amending chapter 173, Parks and Recreation. The first person I see on the list is a Megan Stewart, I believe. Yes, please come up to the podium. Just a reminder, not that you would do this, but there's no profanity, no name calling, no personal attacks, and there's a 5-minute limit. That's what they tell me.
I'll try and adhere.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for having me. Good evening, everybody. My name is Megan Stewart. I'm the director of the Housing and Homeless Coalition of Central New York. Our coalition is a collection of over 30 organizations working to end homelessness in Oswego, Cayuga, and Onondaga counties. Homelessness in Oswego County is on the rise. It's increased over 161% since 2019. This is a critical time to determine the best way to address this crisis, and it's no surprise that the city of Oswego is looking for solutions. I want to talk today about the local law. This proposal is ineffective at truly addressing the root causes of homelessness in this community. Ticketing individuals for sleeping in public spaces when there are few shelter beds available does not address the reasons people are sleeping outside. It is costly to enforce, ineffective as a long-term strategy, and dehumanizing to those who are truly vulnerable and don't have another place to go. Cities across the country who have implemented similar laws and policies have not seen these bans as effective measures, many pulling back the strategy, opting for more humane responses. The enforcement of a camping ban is a strain on resources. It's time-consuming, and better solutions already exist in this community to help people who sleep outside. Trained professionals like those who conduct street outreach here through Oswego County Opportunities are there to help, to assist people move from homelessness into permanent housing. Interactions with police and ticketing can really disrupt that work and cause mistrust between human services workers and the clients they're trying to house. It really can push back relationships that are being built to get folks who might have mental health concerns, mistrust with the system itself, to get them into permanent housing. It's all about relationships. People are homeless because we have a housing crisis. Rent costs have increased over 30% in this region since 2020, and I think we all know that wages have not kept up with that. It is because we do not have enough safe, affordable housing that the residents of Oswego have to sleep outside. There are better ways to locally tackle this issue, including the upcoming opportunity to amend the administrative plan of the Section 8 program. Changing it to prioritizing people who are experiencing homelessness could really help solve this issue and allow people who are struggling to afford a decent place to live. People sleep outside because they have little option, and we want to be a community that responds with care rather than with criminalization. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Second person on the list is a Diane Cooper Courier.
Good evening, and I will avoid profanity and the remarks, Mayor, so I appreciate it. And you'll hear a lot of similar comments to what Megan also shared. I'm Diane Cooper Courier. I'm the Executive Director for Oswego County Opportunities, which is a health and human service agency here in Oswego County, and we are a homeless service provider as well in this community. I first want to thank the mayor, the council, and the city of Oswego for your support on many fronts around the affordable housing needs in this community, that the city has supported affordable housing projects both in and around the city, and that is so crucial. We've also supported support to the city police department through the use and hiring of a mental health therapist to be out on the streets and helping with people who are street involved and or homeless, as well as supporting the increase of emergency beds for Victory Transformation. Those are all critical pieces for addressing the issue of homelessness in this community. And that is so important because housing, not tickets, not fines or arrests, and homelessness, support and not punishment lead to recovery for these individuals who are out on the street. So OCO provides both housing and street outreach services to individuals and families who lack housing. For many of those individuals that we serve in our homeless programs, they've fallen on temporary hard times, and what they need is a place to live, some emotional and financial support to stabilize their lives. But there is this other group of homeless individuals that we see right in our community. I see them, I'm here, I live here, I work here, I shop here. And they include our street-involved homeless individuals. And these include both youth, young adults, and adults who are in our parks, who are on our street corners, and give us pause and concern for what we see and who they are. And I believe maybe the impetus for this proposed change in local law, as well as the people who are gathering in parks and having parties. I'm not talking about those individuals. These are individuals who have no other choice but to sleep where they can feel safe and sheltered in some way because of the lack of affordable housing and lack of emergency beds. These are really some of our most vulnerable community members who, contrary to popular belief, don't choose to be homeless. It's because they often lack access to health and mental health care or adequate emergency shelter and care that meets their individual needs. So OCO deploys street outreach teams that are comprised of mental health and substance abuse professionals and other professionals who engage in building relationships with these individuals. And we partner with the Oswego City Police Department to address their needs out on the street. We're there to build relationships with them so that they can eventually access safe housing, emergency housing, or other services that will help address their issues. We are also spending a lot of time doing that, and it can take months to build those relationships and to build that trust to move them to a better place. They've often experienced a great deal of trauma that maybe none of us could even begin to realize. They have mental illnesses and a great deal of shame and embarrassment that prevents them from accessing services right away or housing right away or emergency housing right away. It's by deploying supportive measures, not punitive ones, that we can move them to housing and to a better place. And arresting these individuals, applying fines to them, or making or initiating criminal records for them makes it more difficult and adds to their complexity of needs and issues and makes it more difficult for them to exit homelessness and access housing, health care, and eventually employment, right? When someone's experiencing homelessness or a behavioral health crisis, we must meet them where they are at with respect and compassion, putting more resources towards those areas and helping them access the supports they need, such as counseling and health care, as well as enough safe, affordable housing and low-barrier emergency housing is how we end homelessness rather than punishing or criminalizing people who are living in poverty. So I want you to thank you for listening and considering our position. We certainly can appreciate the challenges that you have before you of trying to address, the individuals who are really in poverty and have not a lot of choices compared to the people who may be just gathering and partying in our parks. So I thank you for your consideration and for your time.
Thank you. That was the last person who signed up. Is there anybody else in the audience that would like to speak? Come right up. Just do me a favor and just state your name for the record.
I would like to apologize, first of all, because I had unintentionally signed the wrong sheet. My name is Mira, and I have written some questions down that I would like to ask afterward. As someone who has experienced housing insecurity and homelessness for all 24 years of my life, which was spent in this county, I know from experience that this proposal will not be effective in addressing the crisis that we are experiencing. It will only make the problem of camping in public space worse. If you wanted to address what you see as a problem, it will be more effective to take preventative actions by funding programs and funneling resources that will treat the root cause of the issue, which is homelessness, rather than an ineffective and reactive proposal that is only treating a single symptom of the bigger whole. While I was actively experiencing homelessness, I was one of the fortunate few who was able to secure safety at a shelter and did not have to face the harshness that homelessness has to offer, nor the criminalization of homelessness that this proposal will contribute to. Furthermore, I would not have had to experience as much housing insecurity as we did if we had not had to choose between funding an emergency repair and simply keeping our home. And the first question I would like to ask is, what solution will they be for repeat offenders who are there because they are currently experiencing homelessness? And then the second one is, what sort of funding and resources will be provided to help people who are experiencing homelessness within the county if this proposal passes? Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Again, is there anybody else that would like to speak that didn't sign up? Okay, I'd like a motion to adjourn from the council. Councilor Plunkett and Councilor Burge, Councilor Walker. Please call the roll.
Counselor Burge.
Yes.
Counselor Vanucci.
Yes.
Counselor Walker. Yes. Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Plunkett.
Yes.
Counselor Walton.
Yes.
Resolution passes 6-0. 1.
Okay, that's the end of the public hearing. The public session will begin at 7:30.